I'm your host, Jahze Yvette, and this is Too Many Opinions. I'm sitting with my guests, Dollhouse Chyna and Sapp, and this is Don't Play With Me.
Let me tell you something. Them girls ain't wrong. Them girls is not wrong. If you was a man, you don't need to be smoking a hookah, baby gal. You need to be rolling you up a wood. You need to be smoking you some za. Okay? You don't need to be sucking down a hookah, bad bitch, baddie. You was a man. You don't, unless you was a gay, unless you gay, like a gay boy. That's the only reason. That's the only way I'm letting you smoke hookah. If you not no gay boy, you a man. Put the hookah down. Put the hookah down and pick you up a grabber. Not with it.
So this episode is things that are off limits, right? So first of all, is hookah off limits for men? Why is this a thing all of a sudden?
I don't know. Honestly, I think it's really opinionated.
Okay.
Like, if that's what you do, that's what you do. Some men don't smoke. They don't smoke weed. That's their thing. I feel like where hookah come from, I think a lot of men smoke it. So I feel like if
The origin of it is
right,
actually
it's
from
actually
Arabian men,
right.
correct?
So I think it's a discredit to them and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. To me, it's each his own. I used to smoke it. I think that the smoking in the camera thing is one thing, but to not smoke it is another. But
Because it was this clip of Charlemagne. He actually was making fun of DJ Envy for smoking hookah. And I guess it's this thing that's going on right now where if a man is smoking hookah, it's almost like a signal of, I don't know, sucking penis or something like that. But it's like, why is it? Why are we putting a stereotype or gender on this?
I don't agree with it. I think that people might get upset what I'm saying, but it's the truth. I feel like it's okay for a gay man to speak about what a straight man can do, but if a straight man speak about what gay men do, it's a cancel culture thing. And I think that's something traumatizing because how come a gay man can say what men shouldn't do, but if a man say what gay men shouldn't do is often offended. So I think that is like putting men in a box again.
Yes.
Because a man should be able to do anything he wants freely. We say in America, like, you should be able to do whatever you want and you shouldn't be judged on it. But then once again, we're judging men for doing hookah. It's just another way to put men in a box and to stereotype them and to find another way to like make them not be important.
And I go back to saying what the origin of hookah truly is. Right. You know, I think it's Arabian men were like the first one. Women weren't even doing it.
Weren't even doing it. But and even now, going back to what you said, even to answer the question to give you like, I have nothing against gays, none of that.
Right.
Like, family gay, I'm cool, love them all the same way. But even to answer the question is just like, damn, do you answer it in a way? Do you got to be politically correct? Do you answer it because of the person who said it is,
right,
of that culture? And there's nothing to each his own.
But how can he tell you what a straight man is?
And then if I answer it back in the way, it's like, oh, do I get canceled by gay culture? Like, I don't. It's crazy, but it's weird.
It's like you have to be extra
sensitive,
and he was not sensitive. He was very flat and clear on what he felt.
But at the same time, he has his opinion. If that's how he feels, then that's how he feels. I'm not going to argue with somebody on how they feel. It's just that's how he feels.
But let's jump to what you're saying, though. It is a thing that if you was to say something like that,
absolutely,
you will get.
It's over.
It's over with for you.
Every culture, by everybody. Everybody will feel a certain way. They'll feel like I'm talking down on the community when it's actually just an opinion. It may not be my opinion on the whole community. It just might be my opinion on how I view it at the time. Like, I just feel like certain people, he may feel like just only gay men should be smoking hookah and blowing the hookah out.
But I think,
cool, that's his opinion though.
Yeah, but I think opinions, we get tricky with opinions. I think opinions is also a judgment way of what you feel personally. I think opinions is a weapon to really they use it as an opinion, but it's really just what you feel and is an attack mode. That's why I don't really value opinions, because a lot of people opinions change depending on their circumstance. Yes. So how can I trust your opinion when only is in the place that you are in your life right now? If I ask you 2 months later or a year later in a better situation, you might have a different opinion. Yeah. So but that opinion stuff is weird.
That goes with being taught certain things. People might have opinion on something, and then after they get educated on it, their opinion might change.
It may change.
It might stay the same. So maybe it changed 2 years later because of the education was there. So it's like, Oh, somebody educated you on what you needed to know. So now it's like, oh, nah, I don't feel that way anymore.
So let me ask you this though: as far as society goes, why are we genderizing everything though? Like,
absolutely,
that's my question to y'all. Why is certain things for women? Why are certain things for men? Like,
exactly.
When did that come into play?
But then we say we in a free world and we shouldn't be judged. How? When that is clear judgment.
Yeah.
That as a man, if I'm smoking hookah, then I might be gay.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Now that's not okay.
But then again, that's just opinionated. It may be judgmental. Yes, we're not saying it's not.
But I don't think that's opinion. I think that's like he's saying like a fact.
No, it's his opinion because everybody don't agree with it. Once it's not a fact because it's not the truth.
It's not the truth.
It's not the honest truth. It's an opinion.
And like I said, Arabic man was smoking it first.
He feels that if the man is in the club doing all that, he feels that the man looks gay. That's cool. That's perfectly fine. If that's how you feel, it shouldn't stop that man from doing what he want to do because that's what he wants to do. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're gay.
It's so weird because opinions, depending on who it is, what the influence becomes a fact to people.
No, it's not a fact.
And can I be honest?
No, but it get deemed as a fact. Like it's a young kid right now that's a girl that thinks like now I don't want to talk to guys with that's using hookah because he might be gay because Saw Santana said it.
But they telling him to smoke weed though, and that's the same type of what is it? Reaction. Like you're still putting something to your mouth. That's what I think.
I just feel like I don't feel like it's. I just feel like the masculine way of. He just feel like it's more masculine for a man to smoke with grabber and like that's the masculine.
That's the hardness of it.
Yeah. But it's females who smoke with grabber. Like so, does that make
backwards too?
All that. So again, it's just all opinionated.
It is.
And that man, he felt how he felt. It doesn't mean that it's a fact. It just means that people who's going to follow the trend is going to follow the trend.
So y'all don't think it's off limits? This isn't an off limit thing for men to do.
No, this not off limits.
Do what you do, bro. Everybody, this is a world now. You can do what you do. You ain't got to sit there and act like this person, I gotta hide this, hide. Everybody's doing what they want to do. Do what you want to do, man. That's you.
Well, I'm gonna go to my first opinionator. Her name is Jahze D13. She said, crazy how you take something from another culture where mainly men did this and make it feminine. Laugh out loud. Go play in someone's makeup. Laugh out loud. Girl, tell me what you meant by this. Expand on this comment.
So obviously that's a good job. But in all honesty, a lot of people, make uneducated opinions. Mm-hmm. So if Saucy Santana was as brilliant as everyone tried to make him seem, then he would fully be aware of the culture that smoking hookah came from. Mm. So I've commented to other people who were there and I let them know, like the first time I smoked hookah was with an Arab coworker that enlightened me, showed me how to do it, how to properly inhale. Like, how do you take something that was literally made by a man and then tell them that they can't do it? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely.
But then, like he said, if a straight man were to tell a gay man what they could and couldn't do, we'd be ready to cancel him in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. But because this man is telling them as a straight man that you can't smoke hookah, why are we even listening to you? Why does your opinion even matter at this point?
Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, the first time I seen somebody smoke hookah was up in Dykeman, because I'm from New Orleans, right? We didn't smoke hookah down there. There's no hookah down there. So I thought it was like a New York culture thing for me when I seen it, like people outside on their porch with hookah.
It's like that everywhere now. Like, you go to different places, it's just like everybody want hookah. It's like the first time I played basketball in Europe, so the first time I ever had that was. It was called shishi or something like that.
Sheesh or something, yes.
It's
Shisha.
Shisha, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So, and it was from a dude, like one of my teammates, that's their culture. So he's like, yo, let's go.
Smoke some shisha.
Yeah, so that's when, that was before, but that's where it came from. It came from a male origin for me, personally. Like that's their background, that's their culture. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it's opinionated.
And I think I think that people want to be trending. So I think it was just trendy, cause controversy, and just say whatever. I don't think he really. I think that he just came up with that just to say it, just to cause some type of controversy. It went viral. Everybody's posting it, and that's just it's just an opinion to start a trend.
Yeah,
we talking about it.
Well, things that are off limit. I do want to play this next clip. Y'all both are parents, so I think y'all both can resonate with this, and we can have a good conversation.
Listen, parents, quit running your house as if it's a fucking democracy. It is not. Your household is a dictatorship. Well, do what I say, do or fucking else.
But now they have this thing called gentle parenting.
Oh, I believe in gentle parenting.
Do you?
You're living, aren't you?
Surviving is not thriving.
But you are thriving. You survived it. I was very gentle. I was very gentle. I give you passes from time to time. See, you survived that night coming in my house drunk, throwing up on my damn carpet in my bathroom, talking about your cycle was on. Your damn cycle wasn't on. You were drunk.
Well, at that point, I was way too old for gentle parenting. Gentle parenting is like when they're growing up, you don't whoop them.
Oh, hell no. The Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child. So I believe in whipping that ass. I don't believe in abuse, but I believe in whipping that ass and letting that ass know, reach out and touch somebody's ass.
Yeah.
Make this world a better place.
Woo!
For sure.
That was such a good clip. Oh my God. So gentle parenting versus authority parenting. This is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. What are y'all perspective? Because I know both of y'all are parents. Mm-hmm. We're in a society right now where these young kids are wild. I'm talking about buck wild. And I really do believe it's because they don't have that authority in the household. I think a lot of people are trying to lead with this gentle parenting energy, or maybe no parenting at all. But I want to speak to y'all about that. How do y'all discipline her?
So much to say about this.
Go ahead.
Me too. Especially with me, I'm a mom of two.
Yep.
And most people don't believe it, but I have a 20-year-old.
Yep.
Right. So I was a young mother, and I raised my son. I come from old school. Like I was raised a certain way with respect. Yep. There's certain things that I just can't do in front of my mother, in front of my parents. So for me, I think that discipline is necessary. I think, like she said, abuse is another thing, but discipline is necessary. I feel like now today, kids don't really fear what their parents think or what they're gonna say. I think it's just a culture of like, you could do whatever you want. And I think that's what's traumatizing our kids. And that's why these kids are out here just doing all kind of stuff and don't have no real guidance, is because the parents now are kind of overcompensating. And I was like an overcompensating mom too, because my son's father went to prison when he was young. So I felt like I had to over love. And those kids end up being the spoil you brat kids that's entitled and don't feel like they have to do anything. Yep. So I do believe in you might have to whoop ass a little bit.
You got to whoop ass.
You got to whoop ass. I got an ass whooping. Yep. And I'm respectful. I love my mother. I adore her. She's amazing. Yep. And I think I'm who I am because of that. Because if I was given free will to just do whatever, imagine it's like giving your man, not having no expectations from your man. He'll run wild. So it's like you got to put expectations on people and hold them accountable and enforce some type of,
So what about you? How are you with your kids? Are you gentle with them, or are you?
I think it's a balance with me. As the dad, I'm there all the time. So I feel like the male presence
is scary alone.
It's like from young though. Like it's times when I don't really have to say too much. I just look at them and they just go into their mood because it's just like, but I do believe that if certain stuff, they should get their ass whipped. Yeah. And it's not like she said, it's not abuse. I don't sit there but they do get their little ass whippings. And I think it should be a balance. I think it's times where now, I think, first of all, this is something that I've been wanting to talk about forever. So it's just like, I got a lot to talk about. But I think that parenting has become soft because a lot of kids this is the way our grandparents raised our parents, right? It was certain stuff that our grandparents did that our parents didn't like. So they felt like,
they're not gonna do
when
that
I
with their
raise my
children.
kid, I'm not gonna do that.
Yep.
And it keeps trickling down to at a point to where it's just like, it's chaos. Like now it's just like no parent want to do nothing, then all the rules, you hit them, they call the cops.
That's what I was gonna say.
So all of that plays a part. Like when I was younger, my mother smacked me before I picked the phone up.
Can you imagine calling the cops? The audacity.
Right.
So but that's what I was gonna say. This is what's happening right now.
I feel like the rules have changed a lot. So that causes a lot of, I don't want to do anything. And then it's a lot of, I don't care. I'm gonna just, but it's a thin line between whipping ass and abuse now.
Yeah. Well, not for the law's perspective, because the law's perspective, if you hit a child, that's abuse.
I feel like the butt whippers I got back in the days was abuse.
Absolutely, it was ass whippings. For sure, I went through a little bit of abuse. Sorry, Mom, but there was something that wasn't right. Like
I feel like it made me who I am. Like she said, I feel like I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change how I grew up, how my mother raised me, the discipline, because I have morals and values that I instill into my kids every day. Like it's times when my kids do something and I speak to them. Yeah. Like I'm like, yo, bro, like
what'd you do that for?
Like, what's up?
Because I remember back in the day for my mom, like she used to tell me that her parents used to literally like go get the switch off the tree. You got to go get the switch, pull your own switch so you get your own ass.
That was a bit much, like because they was operating in a lot of chaos and trauma. So I think that's why some of that stuff was happening. I do believe in like kids having a voice. My kids have an opinion. They can say how they feel. I believe in that completely. Yeah. However, I just think like, as far as with my parenting, and I think my daughter is in the back, and she would laugh because I don't give beatings. Yeah. However, I'm not opposed to it. I will whoop your ass if I have to. But I just think now, today, I feel like a lot of parents are so tired too. So it's a different type of parenting versus back then. A lot of parents are like tired. They don't have the energy. So these kids are kind of like raising themselves, and they're kind of like too busy, and they're working, and they're being all these things that when it's time to parent, that takes the back seat. And that's the problem. I think back then our parents were more in tune with us. They paid attention to us more.
I was going to say social media got a lot of these parents in the phone.
Know. I know my kids.
Yeah.
You know?
Huh?
It's a lot of young parents.
But I don't think it's a young parent
thing. I don't think it's a young parent thing.
I don't think it is.
I think it's an old. I think a lot of the parents, like even me now, as a mom to my 20-year-old versus a mom to my 13-year-old,
it's totally different. Yeah,
I'm softer with my 13-year-old. I'm a little easier.
I feel like because the rules changed.
But I just had this conversation. I was saying that my girlfriend, and I love her to death, but she has a 20-year-old. And how she disciplined her 20-year-old, she definitely doesn't discipline her 5-year-old like she did from back in the day.
It's different.
And I don't know if it's because she was younger, and maybe she was frustrated. She didn't know how to be a parent. She was like, sit your little ass down.
You're learning with them.
Right.
I was a young mom. I grew up with my son.
Yeah.
So what I know now is different than versus what I do when I was
And you're way more patient now.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
and I'm tired. I'm way more busy.
You're tired. That's what I'm saying about young parents, right? This is what I'm saying. That's what I really meant by young parents as far as I'm tired. My mother never, it's 8 of us. It was never a I'm tired moment.
But they weren't on social media like that either. Multiple jobs like that.
No, but your mom at that time, I don't know if she had a career, but like
a long career. But it never wasn't. Well, I never seen the I'm tired moment from my mother.
See, that is so traumatizing because I feel like that goes back to why men have so much high expectation. I know probably off topic for women is because they thought their mother wasn't tired. Your mother was in that room crying, probably behind your back
because I have sisters
it was too much.
I'm the youngest out of all my brothers. So when my brothers is gone, I'm in the house. It's me, my mother, my sisters, my aunts, my cousins. So I see the female in and out daily thing. So this is why I have a certain respect for females. Not because I didn't see my mother cry. I just see my mother work her ass off.
Yeah.
Right? But I learned the other things about females from my sister. I know why my sister's crying. I know this. I know she's like, I understand all of that stuff. I know the male, like this is why I'm understanding in relationships because it's like, maybe I'm fucking up. Maybe I'm the one doing something wrong. Right. Like, in order for you to even feel that way, because I know that from so when I say the younger parents say they're tired and the kids see that you're tired.
But can I just say this? Like when you say
you're
tired,
so when they know that you and I don't mean.
I'm not saying I'm tired like I can't do it, but I'm tired because I'm running multiple businesses.
That's what I was going to say.
I am a mom and I'm in a relationship. I have duties as a friend. I have duties as a daughter. I have duties as a mother. I have duties as an overseer for my businesses. I'm a boss, so I'm extremely tired. I got to network my business on social media. I have to go into the office and make sure everybody is handling their stuff. I have so many jobs. I wear so many hats.
When the younger generation says they're tired, I don't get it because my mother, again,
I feel like this younger generation is hustlers.
But this is what I was going to say. Let me say this though, Sapp.
Raised 8 of us.
I get it, but 8 kids, and she only had that one job. They got women right now that's having 8 different businesses, and they're pushing the 8 businesses. They also happen to be a wife. Like she said, be a friend and keep your network going. And then you got to raise 8 kids. So your mom probably only had to focus on the 8 kids.
Oh, she had her own stuff going on. So first of all, only me and the sister above me got the same father, right? So she's doing her own thing. First of all. Second of all, she has her career. My mother's been in education.
So you don't think times has changed to where parents today are and where parents was back in the time?
No, of course times changed. Right. But I'm saying
the energy level, it has to change at the time.
But not only that, he's no disrespect, but he's not even fully qualified because he's a man. He's a dad. It's different being a mother.
I'm talking about a parent.
It's different being a mother. No. It's a difference between mom and dad.
It's a big difference. It's a big difference. I'm not saying, first of all, I give credit to the women 1,000% for being mothers.
So you have to be intentional when you say young mothers are tired, because that's projecting like a certain
I didn't say they were
platform
tired.
on them.
I just said that the idea of you saying I'm tired is a young thing. because my mother
As
never,
older woman,
she never said that she might have had a million things going on, but as a kid,
she
didn't say tired. So this is the thing. I'm saying tired because we're in a platform and we're speaking about a real issue. Your mother was tired. She just didn't openly speak it to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my kids don't know I'm tired. To them, I'm superhero.
They do know you tired because of social media is going to allow them to see this and allow them to see that you're tired. It's been days where you be like, I'm tired of these kids, not knowing that you're just joking and being fun for the kids, but the kids probably look at that like.
But I think that prepares them because they're going to be tired one day. So honestly, if your kids see it, I'm going to say, guess
this
what?
is real life.
This is real life.
Leave your mom alone.
To be honest, my 20-year-old is tired. He's in college. He has a job. My daughter, she's in all kind of drama classes and stuff. She's tired.
Do you think that our parents hid
Absolutely
the reality from us?
Absolutely.
Well, y'all, let me go to my next opinionator. Her name is Christy_Marie. She said gentle parents have some of the most out of control, disrespectful, and non-sensual kids ever. I say this as a former teacher. Girl, speak to me because I already know you.
Got a different perspective.
Woo, I know you done dealt with them badass kids. Come on, talk to me.
Hi. Yeah, I just had stated that because what I've noticed in the classroom is we have had to become the disciplinarians as teachers. Yep. While the parents are kind of their friends. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I've been experiencing. And I've done some research on gentle parenting. A lot of it just sounds like parenting, but without giving consequences, like real life consequences. Things like timeouts. They do what you call time ins, which is not the same. Things like you don't make a child say they're sorry. I have someone that I know where their child had harmed another child, and that other child's parent confronted that parent and told them that that child needed to apologize to their child. And this whole gentle parenting, not making kids apologize, she told that parent, oh, well, I can't make her say she's sorry. That other parent ran her off the park and was ready to beat her down. Literally, she drove away in her car scared. And so it's not conducive to a 32 child classroom. Absolutely. Where we are having to pick kids on timeout. We're having to have order. We're having to have a calm classroom and keep kids quiet for a moment. You have to have respect. I'm the authority. You are the child. You must do as I say. Not to say you don't have a say. There's a time and place for that. Also, as far as I'm not even a huge proponent for spanking like that. And I'm not just a former teacher. I'm also a former foster care worker for DCI.
Oh, wow.
Not against the law. It's not against the law to spank your children. Depending on the state, you can use a hand or a belt or whatever. You're not to leave marks on your children. And just like any other form of discipline, it comes with restrictions. I know people growing up who were getting spanked into their teens. And I think that's odd. I don't think it should always be used as the first form of discipline. I don't think that you should be leaving marks on your kids and just crazy stuff. Also, It doesn't work for all kids. And this is something that's practiced in all cultures. I know as Black people, we want to sit up there and say, oh, it's because of the white man. This is something that all cultures have practiced. Black people are not a monolith. There's people in Africa who practice this.
Come on.
Before colonialism, way before the Atlantic slave trade. And so it's just interesting to me how people have kind of taken this lax thing to parenting. And I'll also say raising children is a community effort. Moms are tired because they're doing it alone. They do not have a father in the home. They don't have their parents, their children's grandparents
to be actual grandparents
to support them. They don't have those, and sometimes it's needed, but sometimes these parents are pushing their support system away. They're literally pushing their support system away. And so they don't want to listen to anybody. They think they know everything. Like I said, gentle parenting is for gentle children. It's for stable homes that are 2-parent households. Don't send them into my classroom.
Badass kids and
they don't know how to and they don't know how to sit down, be quiet for a moment, and raise it. I mean, we saw it when we were in the class, when I was in the classroom, and COVID was something that was no longer in the present day. It was in the past after the vaccination and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm also in Louisiana, so they didn't care anyway like that. But these kids came back into school knowing absolutely nothing, like no social skills whatsoever, because it was not required in their home by their parents that they need to sit up here and be still, be respectful. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. None of that. They just came in here screaming, being loud, throwing things, running. I shouldn't have to sit up here and snatch up your child because they're running away from me and putting them in line. I shouldn't have to sit up here and say, you raise your fist at me trying to.
So, I mean, she's hit so many points that we should just talk on in general.
I didn't want to go too deep, but so many parents, I'm fortunate of having my kid's father, my daughter's father was murdered, my son's father was in prison. So I was raising my kids with my mom.
Yeah.
Single mom. I have a great man in my life now, and he's a stepdad. So I'm raising my kids. I'm not a single mother. However, a lot of mothers are tired because they are raising their children by themselves. When a man is in a household, he is authority. He gives the authority. So for me, I feel like that's why the household is lopsided, because a lot of women are operating in a place of just being the mom, being the nurturer, and doing the discipline. Mm-hmm. She's gonna lack in some area because she's not there to be the disciplinarian. She's there to be the nurturer. The father is there for that. So that's the reason. So when he say like we got to be intentional, a lot of young mothers are single mothers.
And I go back to saying what she said with the gentle parenting situation. It's like gentle parenting is for gentle kids. They got some kids and you sit there and they smacking you and they throwing a cup over and you're like, don't do that. Right. It's gonna be okay. Don't do. That's one thing. You're not teaching your child at that point. You're letting them get away with robbery, literally.
Like now, even like she said she was a teacher. I taught for like 4 years actually. I taught, and one thing they teach us is when the kids do something, you have to speak to them to try to get an idea of where they're coming from and why they did it. So it's like if they knock the table over, instead of you saying, it's like,
is that the gentle parenting coming at?
That's what. But I feel like they're trying to make it a gentle parenting thing. Like, but we shouldn't be the gentle parenting.
But I go back to what she said. You do communicate with your kids.
No, you do. But it has to really be a balance. Whether you're teaching, when you're dealing with kids, period.
Yeah.
It has to be a balance. You have to know when to be rough with them. You have to know when to be gentle with them. It can't be just necessarily, I'm going to whip your ass every time you do something wrong. Mm-hmm. No, it can't be all the time.
And I couldn't be too gentle because I have no dad in the household.
You okay? It can't be that. It has to be a balance. If you feel like it's cold for ass whipping, whip their ass. Yeah. If you feel like, it wasn't that bad, let me listen. Next time, just do it this way. I had a whole conversation with my 5-year-old son the other day, and it was just like,
it's authentic. It was good.
It was, yo, bro, you all right?
You good?
I love that. Like, yo, bro, you all right?
Like, nah, for real. Like, I just want you to talk to me. Like,
and kids are not dumb. They know when they're doing something wrong.
Kids are geniuses.
They're geniuses, bro.
When he felt like he was doing something wrong, he put his. I said, yo, bro, talk to me. I said, we're men. You can talk to me in my face. If you feel like what you did was right, then tell me that you felt you was right. Yeah. So you got to stand. I'm gonna teach you life lessons. I'm gonna tell you if that's right. If I'm wrong during this process, I'm gonna let you know. You're a kid, but I can still learn from you any day.
And I go back to those teachers. I feel so bad because I know
go through it.
How much energy they take. And I think that's why there's a lack of teachers in school. And a lot of
you're taking what
good
they love
teachers.
And making it a bad thing.
Making it a bad thing.
Out of line. The parenting is not parenting. They're leaving the teachers to parent.
And you know what's even crazier? When the parents do call to say, look, your child out of line. Now the parents want to fight you. Now fight the teachers and curse the teachers out like they did something wrong. Because your child came to school and disrupted my day. Okay, so I want to go to one of my opinionators, Ted_RUXPN. He said, sorry, she is brutal and it's abusive. If this is your mother, get a therapist ASAP. She's a prime example of a transgenerational slave syndrome. It's beyond old school. It's damaging and I don't blame younger folks for rebelling. It's all trauma responses. Please explain this to me because you really knocked me off you knocked me off my chair with that one.
I agree somewhat of
that. I knocked you off the chair, Well, first of all, I agree with a lot. I didn't hear everything. I was muted or something, so I just thought you were extra late. And then I chimed in right before I think Christy started talking. So I agree with a lot. I think gentle parenting is for gentle children. That means children that have been raised with a good, stable, healthy parenting. You know, by the time they're, damaging property and hitting people and setting fires, then there needs to be a second line of discipline. Hitting or beating your kids is never an option. Like that, it may have been practiced years ago, but it's all about domination and fear.
But got hit as a kid?
A couple of times. I got whippings a couple of times. I grew up.
And you seem like you a good man.
I'm sorry, say again.
And you seem like you're a decent man over there. You don't look like,
it was a couple of times. It wasn't like a usual disciplinary action. And, I just think, I don't think that, a hit here will ruin your child. But I just think if that's the authority that you take is I'm going to discipline you by making you submit. I mean, that's what was done to us. That's what's been done. And that's what that's used for. If you're a healthy parent or trying to be a healthy parent and you start out with setting a balance and the authority and your child knows that, then they won't act out. It will never happen unless there's some kind of cognitive problems or something or brain injuries. If you have a regular child and you're a regular person and you communicate with them and you validate them and you explain stuff to them, then you just won't have that. I mean, if you are an overwhelmed single parent and other people are helping you raise your child and they're raising them differently and they're seeing violence and all this stuff other places, then then gentle parenting is not going to work necessarily. But I never think corporal punishment is an answer. All this super authority, you do as I say, spare the rod, spoil the child. I think that's just a result of our own oppression. And I think what happens is people get frustrated. They just want to take control of the situation. If that means grabbing them by the throat or spanking them, they do what they have to do because they're at that point. I just think there's a lot that could be done before you get to that point. And then children, I mean, I'm a psychoanalytic psychotherapist, but teachers can't be therapists to 30 kids in a room. So I think that kids can be reset, but that takes work. That takes dedication for the parent to do their own work to realign their kids. And a lot of people just don't have time. So it's just like, if they know they're going to get a whipping, they'll stop doing it. So it's the quick and easy method, but it can be quite damaging. A lot of my young adult clients, I mean, they're still healing from simple things you think were just, I just, stopped. I just ended that relationship with that person. Their friend is that, just simple things you think were just you being a good parent. And I think that a lot of parents are doing the best they can or what they know, and they feel like they're okay because they got whippings and they're functioning.
What I'm saying is the frustration.
They never been disciplined and crazy.
And that's why I said it goes back to saying too what he said. I think it got a big part of it. Most of the time, what he's speaking about is frustration. I think it's parents or people that's frustrated, and then their kids is just a product of their frustration. I'm talking about actually your child does something wrong. You just sitting there and you letting them do something wrong versus actually putting them in place. Because that's when you get to a 16, 17, 18-year-old child, police officers can't tell them nothing.
Right.
Other authority people can't tell them nothing because they're like, my parents don't even check me. So why you think I'm going to let you check?
And I think whoopings is not a black thing. Like people get whooped all over different countries, different cultures. So we're not going to make it just a black thing as if our kids are affected wholeheartely just because we're black and we frustrated and we've been oppressed.
Right.
We're taking that to another level. If a child touches a fire, he goes to the stove and he touch fire, right? Either he's going to get burned to learn or you're going to tap his hand. Now, if I'm communicating to my 2-year-old and say, don't touch it, most of the time, sometimes they don't really understand. Sometimes you have to take that little tap on the hand. So now they know and they will fear that little tap. It depends because it can ultimately have your child hurt themselves. Because there's no discipline, because there's no
I think that's what she was saying in the clip. If I'm sorry to cut you off, I think that sometimes we take things the wrong way, like out of context. Really, in this clip specifically, I feel like when she say, just do as I say, like it's not because of just do what I say, tell you to do, is because I know behind that door something's gonna do something.
Absolutely.
So just do. If I tell you don't go over there, just do as I say.
And that's a lot of kids' problems.
And that's a lot because they still go.
Imagine if you would have listened to your parent. You had an easy life.
So now it's like I told you not to do what I say.
Life.
Now if you just would have did what I said, that wouldn't have been the case. Now the pop is lit. And now if I go behind that door now, it's not gonna happen to me. And I'm not saying abuse the kid. I'm just saying. That's in that clip when she was like, oh, I told you to do as I say. Like, it don't necessarily mean I'm the parent that says, whatever, go do push-ups till I say stop doing push. Like, it don't necessarily mean that type of violence or abuse or type of say. It might just mean just do what I tell you to do for your sake of not getting hurt.
And in that clip, I see a loving mother.
Yes,
I see a mother. If clearly these people have a great relationship because they on a podcast together.
Mom and daughter podcast.
Trying to save other families. So clearly this is a loving mother. This is a mother that parented a certain way. This is not an abusive mother.
Yeah.
And she's witty and she's funny.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that she's saying is just pointed just for you to understand.
And it's old school.
And she black.
Old school is
and
funny.
I gotta say this too. You gotta think about this too before I go to my next point.
He's black.
Right.
That's cool.
That kids.
That's what you should have said that.
That kids are smart. And I do believe that like kids think they could get over. I know all of us has been young before, and I'm like, my mama not gonna
Listen, my daughter's
this.
right there.
My mama not gonna think that I did. She didn't do this before,
Yeah.
but 9 out of 10
And
times
you
I did
don't
everything you did times 10.
understand
So you
that
can't play me, and then
sometimes
that's when the
until you're a
bad will
parent.
come in.
Like I keep hearing myself saying everything my mother and my father used to say.
You repeated
And I'm
it.
just like,
Yeah.
Ew.
this is like, like
I'm
what
her.
is this? Like,
I'm my
what is
mother.
this?
I'm like, oh my God, I'm my mother.
What is this? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then, like, again, you don't really get it until a certain, but they're absolutely right. As a parent, they're absolutely right.
But it's a different time. I do like this time because now my kids are more vocal. I wasn't as vocal. And I think that was sad because I think a lot of us were silenced when we were young.
Yeah.
We couldn't really say anything because they'll say we're being grown and we're being disrespectful.
That was my
and it's
problem.
like, no. So I do like the time elevation of us our kids able to communicate and tell us when it hurt. Like my daughter will tell me, like, Mom, you hurt my feelings. And it's like, okay, I love that.
About it.
Instead of her festering that inside and then going on and going and being angry and then going to school and being upset with someone because she's really just mad at her mother.
Yeah.
So I do like the elevation of us being able to speak to our kids are able to speak to us now.
But and I trained and like I was talking about it earlier as far as like stuff that we pass down to our kids. Like I was one of those kids that never said anything.
Yeah.
Like I bottled everything and I was
like
just
my son did that.
As much as I'm the happiest person in the world, you see me, I'm always smiling. I used to have so much anger in me because it's like, damn, no, it's respect. Like, I don't want to say this to my mother. Like, I'm going to just go in the room and just yell at the pillow, put the pillow, like, I'm going to just say that, like, or I'll go outside and fight or whatever. Like, but I teach my kids to be vocal with me because I feel like even in relationships, I wasn't vocal. I didn't know how to express myself because it's just like, I feel a way, but I don't even know how to tell you I feel a way because I've been so used to holding that in. So as I got older, like my relationship started to get better because of I was able to express yourself.
I think a lot of men have that because I think a lot of men are not meant to talk.
I tell them because we feel like not that we feel like we were raised, and I'm not saying all men. I'm just saying majority of us. They may comment if I'm wrong, but we were raised that to feel a way is weaker than being a man. Right? So I teach my son now, it's okay to cry if you feel a way.
That's a part of being a man to identify it.
If you feel like something really hurt your feelings and you feel like you're cry about it.
Yeah.
Like we were grown up to,
if you cry,
you acting like a little baby. You a little girl. Like stop crying. Like and I got brothers. So man up.
They really tough.
It's man
really
up.
Tough.
It's man up.
Yeah.
Man up. So we were taught to bottle those feelings. And that's why a lot of men is just angry. Like a lot of men is angry because they don't know how to express themselves.
But we fixing that, I think.
I think we fixing it. I think because the world is changing. The world is allowing everybody to have their opinion, to be themselves. So when you got that, it's going to be more people just free. When you allow people to be them, you won't have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But when you have an opinion on people being themselves,
so many.
And then you're attacked by it, then it becomes something totally different.
And this is why the show is called Too Many Opinions, because everybody's opinions matter doesn't necessarily mean that you have to agree with it.
Exactly.
You don't have to agree with it. So do you think it's like a black man thing, like, culturally, like y'all cannot show emotions? It's just y'all not supposed to cry? Or do you think it's a culture thing across the board?
I do think it's a black man thing. I think that the white culture, we laugh at white humor, but that's really them. Like, I feel like they're cool with crying with each other and being a certain way with each other.
Emotional.
Right. And we're told, and they're cool with it. Like, hey, what's wrong? What's going on with you?
You should be able to express emotion.
What's going on with you? Talk to me about it. And then I feel like not all white is like that, not all black like that, but the majority, yes. I do feel like the majority we're taught that way in the black culture.
And I think that, and just to piggyback off of that, I think that's why we're also in this space of starting to go to therapy. Right. Because so many of our cultures, we didn't even believe in therapy. That wasn't even like a thought process, going to therapy to talk about your issues or your problems.
But that's a privilege. To go
to therapy is a privilege?
I know I'm not a man. I'm not a black man, but I'm raising one. And I'm in love with one. And I have a black father and I have black boyfriends and everything. So I clearly have to understand them, right? There's a privilege that white men have to be able to identify their emotions. Most, if not most, a majority of black men were raised in the household with just their mother. Would you raise with your father? If you mind me asking?
I wasn't raised with him in the house, no.
Yeah, so see, look, a mom, black mom, strong, powerful, amazing, 8 kids and raising them in the household by herself. Trauma. And guess what? You didn't have a man there on an active daily basis to make you
my brothers
to identify. Your brothers still need to be raised, right? Even if they're older than you.
They're way older than me. I'm the baby boy. So it's I'm gonna just give you, between me and the sister above me is 6 years. Mm-hmm. So, and she's the 6th. So the other 5 is
could be like 10 or
15
years
years
older
than
you.
Dads. They still not. No, they're dads, but they're not your
dad.
Oh no,
they
needed
to be. They needed to be father.
No, but my dad was there. My dad was like me. Like me and my kids' mom are not together. But every day I pick them up from school. We do homework together. We do whatever. We eat. We chill every day. Literally every single day. I'm not with their mom. I don't have to spend time with their mom. When they see me with their mom, is love, is genuine. But I'm there. Yeah. So, and my dad is the same way. I think that I get that from my dad. Mm-hmm. He wasn't with my mom. Him and my mom were married, but they got divorced like right after I was born. But he was there. Whether he had to be there, whether he didn't want to be there, he could be driving through. He was there.
Right. So why black men? So then if we say that, right, if we go back and say, okay, mothers that's in the household with just their kids, but the father's an active role, then why do black men feel like they can't be emotional, they can't cry?
Because
they are the man in the house?
Exactly.
No. Because my brothers, right, they don't you dare. You better not start that crying. So it's like,
because they didn't know better.
Can I be honest? Women did the same thing, though.
No, right,
women tell their sons the same thing. You better not cry.
And you know why? So let's be honest. The lack of her relationship with her father, her not seeing the emotional. Just because you got a dad doesn't mean that your dad was actively teaching you correctly.
Feels like the idea of a man has to be the strong.
No, it's wrong.
No, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying the idea. Right. Yeah. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying this is how most of society thinks. Yeah. Because it's just like, I don't have that person. So the next person that has to be that strong mold is you.
Because
so I'm going to mold you into what I think is the lack.
Is the lack. It's hints.
And I feel like a female can only teach a man so much.
So true.
So, and it has nothing to do with you being a strong woman. No, you can be the strongest woman.
You just can't teach a boy.
That man still needs to know how to be.
If we have to, but we in a
absolutely
deficit.
Black, white, blue, black,
deficit,
yellow,
though.
blue. Whoever. If a female really gets down to females, is the smartest. I tell people this: they are the most intelligent beings ever. Like, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do.
That's not true, but
even a black man, and even a black man, but a black man is amazing and intelligent and brilliant and should be valued too.
That's true. No, absolutely. I'm just talking about equally. We're really built on a level where we have the same everything to really do anything that we want to do.
Well, let's go to this next topic real quick. So I know we on, because this gentle parenting, we could go on and on and on. But let's go to this next segment. Actually, like I said, I think this is going to make all of us agree. But for this particular woman, she had another thought. Let's play it.
I don't believe in girl code.
Do you not?
Oh, why not? It's just like, I'm not going to not talk to someone because you spoke to them.
Really?
Yeah.
So what if, like in the scenario that I just gave?
Obviously, that's different because you're actively talking to them. I'm talking about like past situations.
Like an ex. Okay.
Like I would date my friend's ex.
Would you ask for permission?
It depends. It depends.
You date your friend's ex?
Mm-hmm. I've done it before.
Girl, really?
This is good. I'm so because I just was talking about this.
I think it's really interesting. So let me just talk to you guys. For me, perspective wise, I see the situation as, if I'm really close friends with you, Chyna, like, there's no guy in your past that I'll be attracted to. If I'm your friend that long and seeing you in a relationship with him, it's kind of weird. But at the same time, if it's a guy from 15, 20 years ago, and I don't even remember him, I really don't mind. So I do want to get y'all perspective on what she said. Would you date a friend's ex?
So funny. So let me tell you, sometimes you can respect things, but you don't have to indulge in it, right? So my preference is I'm not going to date one of my friend's exes. However, right, I think that there's a privilege. Like, no disrespect, but white women, right? If they are dating a guy and it doesn't work out, they
introduce him to his friend.
But the reason why is because they have the privilege of having many successful men to choose from. I think that Black women take it as you're cheating girl code is because is a minimum. Our men are in mass incarceration. They're this, that. So I feel like the lack of how many men we have, I think that's why Black women are angry if you deal with my ex, because it's like, sis, I don't even have a new man. You know, I'm still healing over him. Yeah. Versus if she was married, loving, happy relationship, she wouldn't care. Yeah. So it depends on your circumstances and where you at in your life. Would you say something? I think it's a privilege to be able to introduce your friends to your ex-boyfriends and think they're a match. That's a privilege to do that. And I think Black women just don't really have the privileges, and that's why Black women get real tricky when we talk about this. Black women are like, oh my God, you beat girl code. But in reality, if you haven't dated a man in 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, and you're friending him, you think they're a good catch. What is the problem? That's because it's still trauma to that. You probably not in an active, current, great relationship. And that's why it ended up being like that.
Because I know personally for me, if an ex-friend of mine and my ex-lover decide to get together, that's just blessing me. It's like, all right, you saved me from whatever hell I was going to go through, or what type of friend you actually are. That's how I would look at the situation. Now, can I be friends with her and she's dating my ex? I think that would be weird. If I slept with you and then now I'm hanging out with both of y'all, it would be weird. Like, that's my friend and my ex. Like, it's kind of weird.
And it's a cultural thing. We Black. We don't do that. That's deemed bad. Like, and that's another thing too, like this hidden thing of as if we don't do things a certain way. As cultures, we do things differently, right? Yeah. So in a Black community, you getting down bad. You doing bad. You look at it like a little whore or whatever. If you sleep with your friend's man, that's crazy.
That's crazy. They're ready to fight you. You ain't no real friend. You've been wanting my man the whole time.
Right. But then like in white America, it's like, John, did you meet Sue? She's amazing. She'll be a good catch for you. Yeah. And they on double dates. Yeah. You know? So it depends.
Yeah, but the way I think the context of what she's saying as well, though, it's almost like it kind of came off spiteful. Like she been looking at your
like
ex.
It's agenda
it was an agenda with that. Do you believe that can happen?
No.
Yeah, what do you think, sir?
What do you think?
I want to know what the man thinks.
Yeah.
I totally think that. I mean, first of all, if it's my friend, I know who he's dealt with and all that. I don't think that I can ever deal with my man's.
Yeah, but it's so weird. Men do it all the time.
No, but this because that's not
Black
really.
Men
that's
do
not
it
really.
All the time.
That's not really that don't be they man's. Like sometimes.
So that don't be they mains.
It don't be.
It don't matter. Then?
That's not really people. What I say when I say this is like people use the word friends and all that.
Yeah, right.
All that is weird to me now.
Okay.
Like,
but I think once you use it, you should do it.
This is me personally.
Don't use it and then don't want to do it.
I can't even speak for all, but me personally. And I feel like the group I have around me is the same. That's why we around each other.
Okay.
Off limits.
But let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this though, because men do it.
If my man dated a girl in high school, right?
Men
and it was
really do it all the time.
Men do it all the time.
They do, and then they laugh about it, and then they dapping each other. I'm like, son, I just
and women get that.
No.
And y'all like, yeah, we just
No.
It happens though.
It depends on the relationship. Like if I know if Shorty just felt like she was messing with my mans and my mans wasn't really fucking with her like that, it's just like, yo, Shorty, remember Tia? Oh, bro. Oh,
but then women gotta understand that men just don't care enough.
No. It's not that men don't.
No, you guys don't care enough. Y'all have different attachment issues.
That's not true. It's just that the majority don't, right? So it's not even a majority.
So every woman that you slept with, you cared about? Be honest.
No.
Oh, what about your ex? So you telling me your ex? You don't even have no
First of all, my kid's
with
mother is off limits.
Okay, that's a different subject.
So
you know, I you don't mess with the baby mama.
Nah, my kid's mama's off limits.
You mess with the baby mama.
But I've dealt. Let's say that. All right, the girlfriend I had in high school, right?
Yeah.
The girlfriend I had in high school, that was like I felt like that was
the love of your life, the first love.
That was my baby.
Right.
So when we broke up, it wasn't like, let's just say this. When we broke up, her next boyfriend, I was just with him last night. I don't have a problem. Cool, love all day.
Yeah, but see, a female perspective, that would have been a problem.
No,
and that's what we're trying to say.
It's just that you moved on with your life. I moved on with my life. I'm not there.
With your baby mother, you still invested.
With my baby mother, I'm always invested. I'm not invested as far as me and her getting back together. But
you sure?
If I'm dead serious.
Baby mama, you out there? I don't know. Maybe he wants you back.
That's my dog. No, I'm not invested as far as me and her getting back together. But if you my bro,
he can't
and you
do it,
respect me how
You're
I
not hitting my
respect
child's
you,
mother.
No, he can't be up in the house with the kids.
No,
now.
right, because now you know
Yeah,
my
you can't
kids
be
is
at my- you
there.
can't be at the house with my
Now
kids.
it's a whole different situation.
Whole different
Now
situation.
my kid, you might go to the bathroom, you got your drawers
Yeah,
on,
now
my
it's too
daughter.
far. It's
Now
too
it's a
far.
whole different situation.
Yeah, it's too
you
far.
feel me now? So I think that once you cross that line with her, we never. But you can hit
all the other exes that you have
any
no
girl
kids.
that I've.
But see, this is the point that I'm making. Because even if I don't have kids with him, and I find like, just for example, my ex, right? I don't got no kids with him. I'm not dealing with him. But if like my girlfriend that I'm close with, now they start dating, I might have an issue with that.
But I don't have to worry about that because I.
But
feel
you
like,
wouldn't.
No, I feel like you shouldn't have to worry about it
Why?
either. Because your girlfriend is gonna know.
Gonna know what?
Not to deal with him.
If that's really
your, so that's why I go by saying those ain't your friends.
And
because
to me,
your sister,
she know better.
Girlfriend, she knows better.
And then there's an agenda attached to that because most of the time women want to date a man because of the woman that he's with or used to be with because she admires you versus really that man. He's like the play for the moment because of who you are.
Right.
So that to me, honestly, the way she's saying it, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, your delivery too. Her delivery seems very vindictive. It doesn't seem any it's vindictive. It's like she doesn't care. But she's on the hunt. No disrespect to her. I wonder if she's on the hunt. If she's in a relationship, I think that she's looking for a man. So when a woman is out there looking for a man, they'll take any opportunity, meaning it's the ex-friend, they anything. When you're just out there looking. No, that's what I'm saying. It's like in a vindictive way. If she would have delivered it differently, maybe I would have had a different tone to it. But she's on the hunt. This is a woman on the hunt that's willing to take anything. She's willing to take a sister out maybe if she has to.
Because if you think about it, you just taking the same slap that your girlfriend was slapping on. Now you switching slaps. Like I couldn't even, not to say it like this, but to think like you just hit her and that's my girl, and then you come over here. It's like, oh, we just it's too much.
But another thing that women gotta understand that men are different with different women. So just because he was a shitty man to you doesn't mean that he might be shitty to her.
Even then,
so it depends.
Even then though, like as far as like, what's the reason why they broke up? Like, do you know that? Like, if he was cheating on, why would you want
to go back with him?
Go to him and think that he. I know it's different, but I'm a man. Like
his same tricks is the same tricks no matter where you go, huh?
It's not even that because you try to get some little. I'm too small for that. So as time again, it goes back to what I said earlier. As time goes by, people learn stuff, they educate themselves. So now they're probably different. That's what different men is. I mean, men are different to different women because we learn. And I had a conversation with a female before. It's like she was mad at me, but she understood it. It was like, damn, I messed up with you. But everything I learned that I messed up with you, I put it into
that's hard.
Don't tell me that now.
No,
shit I taught you.
It was like
all the things you put me through, you gonna go be good to her? Come on now.
It wasn't that. It was just like, damn, like I apologize. Like I didn't see it. Like I learned from it though. I'm not saying that you wasn't the girl, like, you know what I mean? But I learned from it. It made me a better person. And it was more so of a thank you, like not more so because she already moved on with her life and she was engaged and all that. It was just like, yo, like
you taught me a lot.
But men do what's allowed. And then not saying that, so if a man meets a woman, her expectations are very high and she has deal breakers and she's not going to allow certain things, either he has a choice whether he's going to continue to indulge or he might walk away because it's too much.
Yeah.
So
it goes hand in hand.
I think that when a woman is stand for something and she doesn't allow certain things, I think that's when a man decides to get his act together if he feels she's worth it. So either you could do two things. You can go, you know what, that's too much work. I don't feel like doing that. Or you'll get your shit together and you'll be in that relationship.
But does that go for?
But I still don't want the man that changes for me. I want the man to change because he wants to be a better man.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, if he changed for me, he's going to end up resenting me.
And I want to go back to what you said too. Like just because he's treating you good doesn't mean that he's going to come into this relationship and treat me the same way. And I think a lot of women, especially somebody, and I look at her, she's looking at the relationship that man gave this woman and think that she's probably going to get it times 10.
Absolutely.
She probably won't.
You probably won't.
Probably won't.
That's why
but she's on the hunt again. She's looking for a man.
That's why she's still on the hunt.
Yeah.
That's why she's still on the hunt because not for nothing.
Oh, is she still on the hunt because of her or because of these men?
Because of her. Because as long as she keeps that mindset, I feel like she's gonna always be on the hunt. Because
that's true.
The man is gonna always know. Like if I know that she's like that, it's gonna be like, yo, bro,
it's easy.
I don't want. I can buy.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, this is whatever.
That's why I think men are not courting anymore. Women making it very easy for them. They're not courting. They're not letting these men court because they're looking at what he does for the ex-girlfriend or the current girlfriend. So now when she goes into the relationship, she just jumps right in bed with him because she's looking at what he does in other situations versus him courting her. That's why these men are lazy.
And I want to ask you something else, Chyna. Like when you hear this woman and you said it earlier, like she's on a hunt. do you feel that especially a lot of Black women are desperate these days for love?
Oh, absolutely. The roles have changed. Women are chasing men. Hey, ladies. We have to remember men love a chase. We cannot chase them. It changes the narrative. If we chase them, then they don't want us. So women are sliding in men's DMs. I'm not sliding in no man DMs.
But guess what? Like you said, there is 10 of us and one of them.
True.
So it's kind of like.
But you gotta believe enough. Let me tell you, right? I'm in a very happily relationship. My man he's amazing. He's a king, right? Mm-hmm. And I love him and I want to be with him forever. However, if we do not work out, I know that I'm that great. I know that God is that intentional in my life that he will bring me someone else.
Woo!
And and also for him, that is not a dig at him thinking that he's not worthy. Even for myself, I am amazing, but he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He will get another great woman. It may not be me, but I think that's the thing, is that knowing our worth. I think that Black women need to remember who they are, just like black men. And once you know your worth, then you won't feel like you have to stay in things that's not conducive to who you are. You will move, and that's why she's on the hunt, because she still doesn't know her worth. That she thinks she has to hunt. And you don't gotta hunt, baby. Anything that's for you will come for you.
And as long as she got that mindset, she done. As a man, I'm telling her, like, as long as
you have that mindset, you're never gonna find love.
Always figure you out, and just it's over for you.
Yeah,
like,
but society has made us think that we have to own people, we have to control them and stuff like that in order to be loved. That's why, for me, I want to understand. I want to get to know my man. I want to please him in a way of other things other than just a sexual relationship.
And you know what else? I'm not to like biggie back off of this, but a lot of times, like you said, not knowing your worth, a lot of women are letting men get away with everything, multiple relationships and situations.
And men are letting women, to believe it or not, I know a couple of men. My men have a couple of friends, and they get cheated on, they get done dirty. So it's not just women, it's men too. Men are settling as well. Men are unhappy as well. And I think that once we start realizing that men happiness matters too, then it will be more, men will feel more open to be in relationships and do more marriages and stuff like that. But until
actually court women.
Exactly.
And all of this stuff.
Men are feeling like they're not being seen or not being heard, and they don't matter. I don't want a man to feel that way, because again, I'm a mother of a son and I'm a mother of a daughter. So I have to acknowledge who my son is, and I acknowledge my man. And that way he will know that he's worthy. So I am not just the prize. He is the prize as well. Yes. Because having a good man can change your life, just like having a good woman can change your life, you know? Amen. So until we start exercising that, then we realize that we won't have to be on the court on the hunt that way.
And have to feel like things that are just off limits.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for this. While we often create rules and guidelines for ourselves and others, ultimately what matters is doing what works best for our individual lives. If you enjoy smoking hookah, then do so without being confined to gender stereotypes or feeling pressure to act in a certain way. If gentle parenting techniques resonate with you, then implement them in your parenting style. It's essential to maintain an open and honest relationship with your children, free from fear, judgment, or punishment, but also remembering as a parent and teaching them that negative actions has consequences, so that ass will get tapped if you out of line. And let me add, if your ex-friend and ex-partner decides to engage with each other after you guys broke things off, it's okay, because God is protecting you from the biggest blessing, two people that never cared about you. I don't even breathe the same air of the people that think this way, but if it happens, I just feel grateful that God spared me. With that being said, live, love, and don't play with me. I want to thank my opinionators and also my guest, Dollhouse Chyna and Sapp. Please drop y'all social media so everyone can find you.
So my Instagram is dollspretty, one word.
And my Instagram is @YoungSapp.
Each and every one of you has an opinion, and it matters. Or maybe it doesn't. I pray regardless that this conversation opens you up to more than just your opinion. I'm Jahze Yvette, and this is Too Many Opinions. I'll see you next time.